This is pretty much Springtrap and Delilah. But before we move on any further, please note that none of this should be taken seriously. This is for entertainment purposes only. And also, as a warning, this video contains some dark topics and violence. Got it? Okay. So Act 2 takes place a few weeks later. Springtrap stalks Delilah, and just about when he's about to get her, he fails. And then the phone rings. It's Nick checking up on Delilah. Meanwhile, the spirits harass Springtrap for a brief moment, and out of nowhere they decide to play hide and seek. If Delilah wins, she gets the grand prize, chocolate chip cookies. But I doubt they're better than Springtrap's pancakes. Delilah then hides in the top shelf of the cupboard? How the hell would he even get up there? I couldn't. Springtrap hunts for Delilah in the bathroom. He hears Delilah giggle, so he tricks her by pretending he left but hid in the shower. God, that looks a little creepy. Delilah falls for it and cries. Well, I don't blame her. She was scared Springtrap might hurt her because of what she had in her dreams. Springtrap wants to know what's happening, but Delilah is very reluctant, which annoys him. Just in time, Nick comes back home, and so Springtrap is left alone in the bathroom with the spirits.
She was really mad. I think she's starting to find out what you really are.
I know, dear God, I'm losing her!
And they continue to bully him about Delilah finding out who he really is, but Springtrap denies this. When he hears a conversation with Delilah and her dad, Springtrap begins to realize that he's starting to become more distant to her. He tries to make it up to her, but he's still not convinced. Delilah goes to sleep until she finds herself at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. She meets one of Springtrap's victims, Bonnie, who begs her to be quiet, but Delilah ignores him and finds Nightmare Springtrap. At least that's what I'm going to call him. Bonnie tries to help Delilah but miserably fails. Another spirit helps Delilah, but she wants to rescue Bonnie. She still trusts in Springtrap, so the spirits need a little more convincing. Delilah, going alone, gets taken by Springtrap. He goes on to say how they're all happy and stuff, and wants Delilah to join him forever. Delilah wakes up from the horrible nightmare and Springtrap comes in worried. She's really stressed and yells at Springtrap to go away, which causes Nick to wake up and get a really weird looking bat. It looks like something the caveman would have. But before he goes and bashes Springtrap's ass, he hears their conversation. Springtrap actually does a decent job of de-escalating the situation, so they go over the kitchen and have some cookies to make it better. Delilah just wants Springtrap to be normal again, but
I can't! Not when you're so close to figuring out!
Delilah wants Springtrap to tell her, but he gets unstable.
I'm never letting you go. Never. Even if you hate me. Never. I am not letting go. Wait a second. I didn't mean it like that. Get away from her.
The situation gets worse while Delilah tries to be the diplomat.
He hit me.
Come on, Delilah. There's something very wrong with him.
Bitch. I'm right here. I hear every word out of your mouth.
Delilah continues to try and calm down both of them. She encourages them to talk it out in the living room, and Springtrap's like,
You're lucky I don't feel pain anymore, Nicholas. I would have killed you right on the spot.
Anymore? You once felt pain, Mr. Animatronic Robot?
Nick speaks his mind about Springtrap and believes he's hiding something dark. This causes Springtrap to talk to Nick, alone. Springtrap speaks his mind as well, and so Nick gives him a chance, but doubtingly, since he's hardly changed. Springtrap actually acknowledges this and decides to get some help from someone who already knows his secret.
Harry.
Okay, dude, how'd you get in my house? So Springtrap and Harry have a little discussion about his outbreak, even about what Delilah told Harry. Things seem to be going well, until Harry makes a condition where Springtrap has to tell Delilah the truth before the summer break's over. He obviously fears telling her, but then Harry's brother comes, so they try and hide. It didn't last long. The situation gets worse as Harry's mum comes as well. Springtrap knows how to deal with this though, right?
Okay. I can deal with this. Why, hello.
So Harry gets demanded an explanation. Wait a minute. Ended up at Fazbear's Fright, and when it burned down, he was sold at an auction to this diner place. God damn it! In the last video, I said that it took place before FNAF 3, but it's actually after. Oh, God. I'm sorry. And so the mums all chill with it, and so is Harry's brother. When they go out to the front porch, they continue their discussion, and Harry also wonders why Delilah is so special than the others. Springtrap confesses that she isn't, and he just wanted a family. In his human life, he was unattractive, so no one liked him. He even tried adoption, but that didn't work either. Working at Fazbear's filled that void, but when he saw his co-worker die in a springlock failure, he was transferred to the night shift, and saw his co-worker alive in the suit, which gave him the great idea of doing that to kids. Springtrap explains his regret and remorse, but most importantly, his purpose, to give Delilah and the kids a proper family. Harry believes in Springtrap and reminds him to tell the truth. After they say the goodbyes, Springtrap goes home. The next morning, Springtrap makes pancakes, yeah! And also Springtrap explains what happened yesterday and wants to hang out with Harry. So Delilah gives him a call. Harry nearly spills the beans, but it was intervened. Delilah gets a little suspicious, but dismisses it and continues her conversation.
Sorry about that. Do you want to come over?
Actually, I was hoping we could play more Halo together. Wanna come over? Wait, Halo? So Springtrap and Delilah go over and have some epic gamer moments. Oh wait, Springtrap's a boomer, he doesn't know how to play games. Delilah knows something's up with Springtrap, as Harry and his brother know something she doesn't, but she reassures herself out of it. They continue to play until Springtrap gets wrecked and salty. So they play hide and seek. Oh no, it isn't. Oh, I'm so dumb! Ugh. So they play something more his style. Hide and seek. Delilah and Harry go into his basement and hide there. Springtrap seeks them out, but they run. Oh, I'm coming to get you, yup. They both continue to run and split up and hide and all sorts of stuff. Oh, hi. Running down the hall, Springtrap takes a leap forward to Delilah. Also, how is she not dead? Didn't he say he was a 7-foot robot made of metal? Shouldn't she be crushed? Never mind. Delilah enjoyed it. Hours later of playing the game, they go home, and Springtrap tucks Delilah in. Meanwhile, Nick is working and speaks his mind to a co-worker. He goes even as far to mention Delilah's mum. Suddenly, he gets a call from Harry's mum and finds out the truth. In a rush, he goes home to check on Delilah, but Springtrap knows something's up. So he looms over Nick, and then Nick snaps at Springtrap for being a murderer. But before he could finish his sentence, he's dragged out. Springtrap threatens to kill Nick and Delilah if he does anything to tell her the truth. With no choice, he has to agree to his terms. He goes back to check on Delilah and says,
Delilah,
What?
I love you.
I love you too, Dad.
They talk about what they used to do, which was to get ice cream and marathon through movies. They both decide to get some ice cream for old time's sake. Meanwhile, we realize that Springtrap was bluffing, but then he sees Nick and Delilah. He questions where they're going. When he gets an answer, he demands to come as well. Nick has no choice but to agree. So they go and get some ice cream. When they return, Springtrap and Nick need to talk again. He apologizes about before, but Nick outright denies it and expresses his hate towards him. He wants Springtrap to get kicked in
The darkest pit of hell.
Springtrap knows he's right, and Nick, well, is depressed. He remembers back to the simpler times. 5 years earlier, we get a glimpse of their pasts and relationship, even a bit more of the mum. Nick decides that ice cream will cheer Delilah up, but Nightmare Springtrap appears and taunts Nick. He continues to talk about if Nick is going to fight back on him, but Nick is just begging Delilah to stay away from Springtrap. Until it was a dream, influenced by the spirits. Even though it was said that it was a flashback 5 years earlier, so technically it should still be 5 years in the past, because it doesn't say it's present day. But I'll just let that slide, since I didn't realise that the first time I read this. Whew. End of Act 2. Geez, this video's kind of a long one, isn't it? Well, Act 3 should be shorter. I guess I'll be seeing you till then.